Welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're looking at, well, quite a confluence of ancient prophecy and our current moment.
Definitely. Ambassador Josiah Haltom called it a trembling world. And that feels apt. We're drawing on the ZOHAR, Revelation, Micah, Isaiah. Quite a mix.
Yeah, quite a stack. And our goal really is to synthesize these, see what they might tell us about now, and maybe about participating in what some call a next planetary age.
Right, moving beyond just observing, escaping that spiritual inertia someone mentioned. It's about action.
Exactly. This link between divine threads and human action. So let's start with the Zohar. From the book of Exodus, Shemo, it describes an end-time sequence.
It does. And it starts, perhaps unsurprisingly, with difficulty. Troubles upon troubles, specifically against Israel.
Meaning unified opposition decrees.
That's how the sources frame it, yeah.
Yeah.
A kind of global pressure cooker. And the idea presented is that it's meant to dissolve self-sufficiency, create a real yearning for something beyond the worldly solution.
So the pressure has a purpose. Got it. What's next in the sequence?
Something dramatic. A pillar of fire, visible globally, for 40 days.
Wow. Okay. How's it described?
Initially, it's seen from above down, descending.
Mm-hmm.
But then, crucially, after those 40 days, it shifts. It stands from earth to heaven. And this happens before the Messiah figure is revealed.
So like a two-way spiritual interaction, something coming down, then something integrating or rising up.
That's a good way to put it. Then comes the emergence of the Messiah.
From the bird's nest in Eden and revealed in Galilee.
Specifically Galilee, yes. The Zohar emphasizes it as a place of tikkun, or repair. Symbolic because it was a place of historical devastation.
Revealing redemption where there was brokenness, and this causes fear, global trembling,
Tremendous fear, yeah.
people hiding.
It connects to that image in Isaiah 2.19, hiding from divine majesty.
And the sources say this figure initiates global wars from Galilee.
That's part of the description, yes. A major reordering. And there's celestial signs, too. A multicolored star, warring stars around it for 70 days. Mirrors the earthly conflict.
Okay, let's circle back to that pillar of fire. How is that interpreted in the sources we have, particularly through Ambassador Haltom and Rav Berg's lineage?
They see it less as just a physical sign and more as the wisdom of Kabbalah itself manifesting.
That the wisdom becomes visible, globally.
Exactly. An active purifying force, almost like a spiritual technology.
To eradicate klifa, spiritual negativity.
Precisely. Fire in Jewish tradition often means divine presence, revelation, purification. Think burning bush menorah.
And Rav Berg called the Zohar itself a generator of light.
Right. So this global appearance of the pillar, the wisdom, is seen as a universal activation of that transformative energy, dismantling negativity on a grand scale.
Okay, now this leads us to maybe a more challenging part of the source material, Revelation 3.9, and this idea of a mimicked Israel.
Yes. The verse mentions a synagogue of Satan, those who say they are Jews and are not. Historically, sources note this likely referred to specific first-century conflicts.
But the material we're looking at applies it differently today.
It does. It talks about a contemporary international process, a mimicked Israel, involved in what it calls commercial acts of fraud and bloodshed, wars of rumors of war, under a facade of righteousness.
Now, just to be absolutely clear for everyone listening, we are reporting directly on the interpretations found in our source material here. The source specifically mentions a perspective involving global elites who manipulate political, financial, and religious systems, and even names a specific network believed to be involved from that viewpoint. We aren't endorsing this, just relaying the content.
Correct. The key point being made in the source is that prophecy foretells the humbling of such opposition and the vindication of true believers. Global turmoil is seen as part of that process.
So with all this intense prophetic backdrop, what's the takeaway for us? The call to action, graduating from level 0.
It shifts from just knowing to doing. Micah 4 gives that incredible vision, right? Nations flowing to Jerusalem, beating swords into plowshares.
It's a total reordering of priorities towards peace, abundance, something beyond purely human capability.
Exactly. And Isaiah 14 reinforces it, the downfall of Babylon. Humbling pride, affirming divine sovereignty. As I have planned, so will it be.
So enactment means?
It means prophecy isn't just prediction, it's a call to embody the change now. Swords into plowshares starts inside us, transforming our own conflicts.
And extends outward, socially.
Yes, pursuing peace, justice, and humility, letting go of ego, aligning with that higher will, practically maybe confronting our own klifa, using that wisdom, challenging deception where we see it, living differently.
Witnessing through living. Okay, so wrapping up. We've traced the ZOHAR sequence, the pillar as wisdom, touched on these complex modern interpretations linking to Revelation.
It paints a picture, doesn't it? Not random chaos, but maybe a larger design unfolding towards redemption.
And the sources place a real emphasis on the listener's role in all this. Being a witness isn't passive.
Not at all. It's about actively embodying that temple of light and life, living the wisdom, the peace, the humility.
So the provocative thought, maybe, is that this next planetary age isn't automatic. From this perspective, it's co-created by our choices, our willingness to graduate from level 0.
To actually do the work internally and externally.
What does that call to action mean for you right now? Something to ponder.